We begin this morning with our ongoing coverage of the escalating conflict in the Middle East. This morning, Iran's president is apologizing for his country's attacks on neighboring nations, suggesting it was the result of miscommunication in the ranks and insisting it would stop from now on.
من اینجا لازم از کشورهای همسایه که مورد حمله قرار گرفتن از طرف ایران.
In a recorded statement aired on Iranian state television, the president says Iran will not attack its neighboring countries unless they are attacked first. However, the statement aired after repeated attacks on Saturday morning on Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. He also says the country's three-man leadership council had been in touch with the armed forces over the attacks. The president delivered a warning to neighboring countries considering joining the conflict, saying they should not become, quote, a toy in the hands of imperialism. And U.S. President Donald Trump posting on social media this morning as he says Iran is now promising not to attack its Middle Eastern neighbors. Trump says Iran was looking to take over and rule the Middle East, and that this is the first time they have lost to its surrounding countries in thousands of years. Trump added that Iran will be hit very hard today, with groups and areas he had not previously attacked now being considered for targeting. The strikes in the Middle East have been continuing as the war enters its 8th day of fighting. In Iran, video shows fire coming from the capital's main commercial airport after reports of air attacks. Eyewitness footage shows the smoke plumes coming from the airport's direction. Iran's semi-official news agency Tasnim is reporting heavy air attacks that hit Tehran's Mehrabad airport. There was no immediate comment from Iran's Revolutionary Guard. And air raid sirens sounded across Israel, including in Jerusalem, as smoke trails were seen in the sky following interceptions. The Israeli military said it identified the launching of missiles from Iran towards Israel several times over the last 24 hours. No injuries or impacts have been reported. The army saying it's also begun a new wave of strikes targeting Iranian infrastructure in Tehran. Israel also launched attacks on Lebanon, saying it was attacking Iranian and Hezbollah targets. Hezbollah has fired rockets and drones at Israel, sparking Israeli strikes on Beirut's southern suburbs and Lebanon's east and south. And Israel's defense minister, Israel Katz, warning that Lebanon will, quote, pay the price for failing to disarm Hezbollah. Hezbollah launched an attack on Israel following the joint U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran. Israel responded with a furious assault targeting Hezbollah across the country. And in eastern Lebanon, at least 16 people were killed in Israeli strikes, according to the country's health ministry. It's one of the deadliest Israeli bombardments since the war resumed this week. More than 200 people have been killed since Israel launched heavy airstrikes on the Hezbollah-controlled southern suburbs of Beirut and Lebanon more widely this week. This comes after Hezbollah opened fire on Israel to avenge the killing of Iran's supreme leader. The chief of the defense staff says Canada may be called upon to help defend the Gulf states from attacks from Iran. Prime Minister Mark Carney was asked about that Friday and what potential military help could look like. Carney says so far Canada hasn't received any requests for such assistance.
We were not consulted before it began. We're not engaged in the conflict. We do not intend to engage. What we are doing, where we are engaged, is dealing with the consequences of the conflict, consequences that continue to spread in the region and to some extent beyond into the Indo-Pacific region, obviously with the naval incident, to put it mildly, in the last 36 hours. So dealing with those consequences very much goes first and foremost to the Canadians in the region, protecting the Canadians if the Canadians wish to leave the region, assistance with that.